And there's the start. So, a lot of people know Celeste for the dash. You don't have the dash in the prologue, however, so you have to keep jumping to move faster. I think you go 2 frames faster, or save 2 frames per jump, so it adds up to maybe a second or so throughout the whole prologue. I don't know, the prologue's pretty tricky though, because if you're not careful with how you're jumping, you can jump right into a hole and die. Which is not a very good thing. Looks like okay. Refresh, please. There we go. Yeah, it looks like both of them made it through fine, so we're all good. And we're on to Forsaken City now. So now that we have the dash with us, basically, we have a lot of different movement techniques that we can do, and we're going to be seeing basically all of these in this first level. All the hyper dashes are here. Dash jumps are here. Wave and extended dashes are here. Wall jumps are here, or wall bounces are here, rather. My bad. Reverses are here, like you saw on Revos there, and even lesser seen techniques like neutral jumps and dash jumps are also going to be present in this stage. So both players are going to be flying through it using all the different tech on all these big open screens. It's basically just a playground where you do everything, and it moves very quickly. Revo already at the last couple of screens, and Terra only a few screens behind that. Let's see. Revo gets that jump. That jump looks scary, but it's actually fairly consistent. And tricks like that in general are usually fairly consistent. Terra having a death on that spike and then getting the jump, very good. Revo neutral jumping up to a very quick Chapter 1 finish, and Terra also neutral jumping up to another very quick Chapter 1 finish. So very good job by both racers here on Forsaken City. But now we have Old Site, where we don't have the main mechanic yet. So you see these blocks that are kind of frozen and kind of cosmic looking, and they don't do anything right now except blocks. That's what they are. I don't know how else to put it. But after going through this path that Revo just went on, we're now going to have the dream blocks, where did a little bit of a glitch to keep height, keep where you were vertically, while the cutscene moved where you were horizontally, to go in the dream block a little early and make it up here. Because now that the dream blocks are active, you can go on this path and make it to the Battle and Chase, where Battle's going to be chasing you 3 seconds behind all your movements. I don't want to get hit by her. But just like basically everything in this game has no luck in it, basically at all. So you just, if there's an obstacle in the level, we learn to route or just learn to move around the obstacle to make it as little of a problem as possible. Because if everything's consistent, you can make a consistent route for it. As you see, Revo absolutely blazing through this fight, and Terra also working through it pretty quickly. Now Revo, on these last couple of screens before the Awake section, the Awake section is a very interesting part of the run, because you basically have to do these last few screens again. Well, and Terra with a bad crush, but except for the fact that there's nothing there except your movement, and your movement isn't capped, your speed isn't capped, so if you keep moving well enough, you can keep preserving and getting new momentum. No one can really do this to a task level where they can basically do it the whole time, but you're still going to see a lot of cool things like ultras and corner boosts to try and bunny hops too, which are all things you can do to preserve some momentum or even just abuse momentum. To make it to the end of the chapter as fast as possible. And as Terra's about to head to that Awake section, Revo is going to be entering Chapter 3, which has Dust Bunnies. And the Dust Bunnies are evil. They are a cycle-based enemy, so they move back and forth at the same speed and pattern. every time. So not only is, if your movement is a little bit different, they'll be in a different position than what you're used to, but also, if you die, they'll be on a different cycle than when you enter the room. And so you basically have to learn this level twice. Once where if you die in a screen, you have to see the dust bunnies, and one where when you first enter the screen, which is what usually happens. Fortunately, someone like Revo, who is a very high-level runner of this game, might not need to worry about death cycles too much, especially some screens where the death cycles are really bad. But someone like Terra, who, although despite 45 being a really good time, is not as much of a top time as Revo's 31, you do kind of need to be more wary of the death cycles. Not to say that you don't need it if you're higher level, but just it's probably more useful when you struggle more with Chapter 3. And Chapter 3 is a huge struggle. It's where the difficulty of this game really picks up from Chapters 1 and 2. It's a bit longer, quite a bit longer than Chapter 1 and 2. In fact, I'd like to say it's longer than Chapters 1 and 2 combined, so that's pretty dang long. As Terra's making their way through the beginning of the hotel, Revo is entering the huge mess where basically what he has to do is go through 3 different branching paths and hit these 3 switches to clean up these 3 kind of things that is causing the huge mess, because there's a key in the middle of the mess that you want to get to progress in the level. And you have to talk to Ashiro after each one of these, so this is routed around the quickest way, which path is the quickest to get to Ashiro from the exit of. So we're going to be doing the bottom, the top, and the middle paths in that order. And depending on when you hit a switch, it can affect the other 2 sections. So like if you hit the switch for the towels before going on the top path, the purple towels won't be there. But we really don't care about that. We don't have any strats that care about the order you go in. We just kind of do it based on Ashiro's position when you exit. So, like as you see, we're just going to be abusing everything to skip a ton of platforms and just generally move too quickly for any other platforms to be of immediate use. Granted, the later paths you get on, it does get harder when you don't have platforms, but like always, we learn to work around that and make sure we have an easy time as possible, going as fast as possible. Like Revo, who is now going to be getting the key and heading to the elevator shaft, as Terra is getting to the second path of the huge mess, which is going to be for the books. Revo missing that wall bounce there to get the best cycle possible. This room, very nicely done. Getting all the keys to open that door there. I guess it's a door. And very nice. Terra also working pretty smoothly through the level. Being a bit safe, but paying off because not dying, which is good. Now Revo, this can be a really difficult screen. Gets it first try, does a retry because the key stays with you. And so it's faster to get back to the beginning of the room by retrying. And now on the last room before, I guess you could call it the boss. I don't know, some people call it a boss. I don't really think of it as a boss, but it's the Oshiro chase. So Shiro was a character who was the manager of the hotel that you've been in this whole chapter. And at this part, he just kind of snaps at you for cutscene, because of previous cutscene before this chase. And now what he tries to do is he tries to dash at you by tracking your vertical position, your height, and then charging across the entire screen horizontally. And can mess you up if you're not careful, but and kind of is weird. Revo taking death, so you do have to be really careful. Doesn't move too quickly though, or moves pretty quickly, but doesn't fire all too often and gives a good warning, the lightning bolt, before he's going to charge. So it is a pretty good mechanic because, I mean, it's pretty fair. And you can also jump on Ashiro to get your thingy back, to get your dash and stamina back, but You usually don't see that on purpose. I mean, you saw it there on Revo's end, but I don't think that was 100% intended. Terra almost getting to the key, but dying on the last hyper dash there. And once again, ooh, this is not looking good for Terra, struggling on this section. Well, Revo moves on to Chapter 4. But very good job getting through those hypers. That can always take a lot more tries than it did, even if it takes like infinite amount of tries. And then Revo getting into Chapter 4, where there's a ton of things. There's like bouncy clouds, there's the dash bubbles, there's the wind. Nobody likes the wind. It pushes you in whatever direction it's blowing, and the game likes to make the wind blow against you, which is not very good when you're trying to move fast. I mean, I don't know how else to put it. Revo making quick work of the beginning of Golden Ridge. Meanwhile, Terra doing a good job for the beginning of the Yashiro section. And having a scary moment there, but getting through. And Revo about to go for a spike jump. You might have seen in Chapter 3 there was a spike jump, but there's going to be another one here. You have to bounce off a small part of the wall, and the way that spike hitboxes work, when you're moving away, they won't damage you. So, since the spikes are basically not there, you just have to get this small area on the wall to wall jump off of while moving towards it, and you can skip a few seconds. Also doing another auto-scroller skip involving an extended hyper and using a block to get some momentum to get all the way to the end of the screen. Very nice trick that saves a decent amount of time and is just very smooth to see done correctly. Terra almost done on the last screen of the Yashiro chase, which is probably one of the hardest screens, if not the hardest, on the entire section. It's a very long screen, and there's no checkpoints at all. So any death on it will send you back to the beginning, but dying right at the end of it by an Yashiro charge, that is not good at all. And Revo going for some hypers, or some wave dashes and a reverse to get through that screen. Now on this screen is really weird, because for some reason this screen does have checkpoints midway through, but it's not even that long. But I mean, hey, you take checkpoints if you need them. And now I'm going to be doing this auto-scroller. Can't really skip it, so you just kind of have to wait for the block. Terra done with Chapter 3, very nice. That is a very rough chapter, so getting through it is just always a good feel to get on to the next one. And Revo onto the last screen here before the cliff face section. The cliff face section is where the winds get super harsh, and it's really hard to even move forward. Because of how harsh the winds are if you're not like dashing or hypering or stuff like that. Also is the last section of the level, so he's actually almost done, as Terra has a little bit of a problem with the beginning of the stage, but gets over it and is moving on to the winds. And Revo doing some crazy jumps to get through that screen. That screen is absolutely wild. It's one of my favorites to watch higher level runners do. But now into the last screen where the wind is harshly pushing in your direction, actually, which makes you move to the right very fast and allows you to do a lot of crazy stuff with the bubbles to finish off the chapter. Very nicely done. Terra now going to be heading on to the... heading pretty close to the spike jump area. Not going to be doing the jump there in that little gap that you can do to save a little bit of time, but, I mean, makes sense, I guess. Revo now getting into Chapter 5, going to be using these dash blocks here to get an extend in and get a dash back, while also getting a lot of upward momentum, because that block moves upward on its track whenever you dash. And these red bubbles are going to shoot you infinitely in a direction until you either hit a wall with them or dash out of them, and Revo is going to use that to get up here. Going to be doing the little skip where you don't use a red bubble like you intended to skip a few screens, and getting a key, moving on to the next portion of the level. I assume there's a strat in this room where if you do it good enough, you can get enough speed to not only blast through this room, but also skip the next one that it looks like Revo's going to be going for. Doesn't get it, but going to go for it again. And let's see. Okay, doesn't get the full version of the skip, but gets a pretty good amount of it, getting all the way up there with that much speed. Terra going for the block extended here. And going for double bubble skip. Double bubble skip, okay. Only going for it once. Not getting it, deciding to go the normal way, which definitely makes sense. Double bubble skip is a really hard skip where you use a trick called a corner boost, where you kind of use a corner, and it's... I'm not 100% sure how it works, but you can use a corner and jump off of it at the right time to kind of keep your speed while jumping off the corner, and you can hit the bottom bubble. You can hit the hidden bubble, rather, to go to the secret path. Very tricky skip. Not surprised that only went for it once. Surprised that he even went for it. I'm not that surprised. I heard him talking about it, but he's just kind of crazy like that. Now playing as a Seeker, as Terra is working through some of the windy bubble screens here in Golden Ridge. A lot of very tricky screens in Ridge, so definitely understandable if any of them take a few tries. Ooh, a nice save by Terra. Not getting dash back, but being able to go into that bubble. And now heading to this screen. Wants to get an extended off this cloud to get up to that block. Very nice. And that strat there is always crazy, doing a wall jump off of a very specific ledge where spikes are to get through that screen quicker and make it to the Seeker section, where the Seekers are going to be chasing you. You can jump on them, they can kill you, they can destroy these blocks. They can also hit the keys for you to unlock the doors, and especially with their big explosion when you hit them, when they reform, they have a big explosion. Definitely going to be kind of abused because the Seekers will track your position, so you can kind of use them however you want. With Revo combining that with getting some crazy speed to make this section as quick as possible, as Terra is just about to enter the cliff face, so about to be finished with Chapter 4, just needs to get through these harsh winds, and we'll be out of there. Revo exiting the Unraveling checkpoint, which is the first main area with the Seekers, and going to be heading to the Search checkpoint, which has the biggest skip in the run. Saves a lot of time, where you're supposed to get 2 keys to open some doors to get a red bubble. Oh, almost got the super fast version there, getting Search skip. You're supposed to get a red bubble and 2 keys to get over there, but you don't need to do that. But what actually is interesting there is most people go for a strategy where you use a reverse hyper dash. Revo actually went for a strategy and almost got it, where you use a bunny hop to keep momentum going onto that screen. And it's a bit riskier, it's a little bit faster, and it's much less common. But didn't get it, so went for the safety reverse, and still made it to Theo's section pretty easily, where Theo you can't dash with and you move slower with, but Theo will kind of do some weird stuff to momentum when you like throw him and then pick him up again. So we keep dashing and then picking up. We throw Theo, do a dash, and then pick Theo up again, and do a lot of crazy stuff with it. So Revo's going to be dashing through this section as Terra's into the last 3 screens of the Golden Ridge now, so very, very close to being finished here. Just has to work through this final stuff with the bubbles, and there's going to be a lot more bubbles on the last screen. Oh, geez, Revo, I think almost died there, but hit the Seeker, and then the Seeker hit him back. Alright, has to do this again. It's fine, though. And he's going to be heading into the last 3 screens of Mirror Temple as Terra finishes Golden Ridge. So Revo is doing very good, and so is Terra. And now Revo, onto the last screen here, there's this eyeball that shoots out these shockwaves that push you backwards. So what you might see him doing is trying to stop and delay his dashes so that he can dash through the shockwaves and not have them push him back. But throwing Theo at the eyeball will finish the chapter. Very nicely done. Headed into Reflection, where the strats that Revo is going to be doing is only going to get crazier and crazier. Terra's going to be going for the key skip right here, where you go to get a key a little early. There we go, first try. And Revo now has control of the feathers. The feathers are interesting because you can actually analog control these in all 360 degrees directions, whatever you want to do. But I think Revo actually plays this game using a keyboard, so Revo's only going to have 8 directional input for the feathers. So if Terra's using an analog stick, they might save a little bit of time over Revo. With Revo getting Lake Skip first try, though, it's going to be very hard to save time over Revo's movement, because Lake Skip is a pretty difficult skip that only saves like 4 to 5 seconds. But I mean, he got it first try, so kudos to that. And Terra working through the Mirror Temple fairly quickly, about to head to the double bubble skip screen. I'm sounding like one of the crush blocks that Revo's using right now. Those things, you can dash into them, and they will change your direction, or they will dash in the direction you hit them from. So, like, if you hit their right side, they'll dash to the right. Kind of confusing to explain, but they work very simple, as you can see. Terra working through some of these red bubble screens before the Seeker sections. There we go. Soon to be headed to the Unraveling, as Revo is getting to the split paths. So this chapter actually has no berries in it that are collectibles in the other 6 chapters. And technically the other 7, but we don't do core in this run, so I don't need to acknowledge it. But the thing about that is it allows these split paths to happen where you have several paths that go up or down. You can go up or down, and we haven't routed out, so we know which one is fastest to go in each scenario, except for I think there's one where some people will do a screen, but some people will do the other. And I think technically the less common one might be faster, but might be harder, which is why it's less common. And Revo, well, making very good progress through the split paths. Terra's getting really close to meeting the Seekers, so definitely keeping a good pace in Mirror Temple while Revo's flying through Reflection. Revo done with the split paths as Terra enters the Seekers, so we'll see if Terra can do the same things that Revo did with the manipulation of the Seekers, because they do work the same way. They track you. Again, nothing's random about this game. Doing a little bit of a different strat than what you see a lot of people do. You see a strat like that, except a little bit later on in the level in most cases. But using it there is actually very cool. And now, Revo, working through this section here. Here, we're close to getting into a fight with Battlein, so we have to kind of find Battlein. And having a little bit of problems with this screen. This screen is very hard because you use some shortcuts to get through these holes in the spikes. But they're very difficult to get through. 2 of them have a setup, and then the 3rd one is very tricky. And then getting to this water section before we're about to get to the last trick. Meanwhile, talking about tricks, Terra is just a few screens away from Search Skip, so get excited for that. Revo, oh my gosh. So after Revo gives me a heart attack, he's going to be doing this Battlein boost, which is a skip where you use the moving block to get a ton of momentum and make it over to the Battlein fight extremely quickly with a series of bunny hops to keep your momentum. And now in the Battlein fight, we see Terra getting Search Skip, actually, on the other side. But the Battlein fight, you're going to just want to get to Battlein and insert physical contact type here. Some people like to say hug, some poke, some punch. Who knows? Who knows what's happening in this fight? But granted, you have to dodge her attacks while getting through each screen as fast as possible. And Terra's about to see Theo, so everyone's good friend. Using a Seeker to get that key up there. And now it's Theo section for Terra. So Theo section is really difficult, but just like everything in this game, really, there can be a lot of different strats shown off, so we'll see what Terra does to get through this as quickly as they can. Meanwhile, Revo doing very good work to do this Battlein fight very quickly, and is just blazing through the screens, doing all he can. Terra making nice progress, nice quick progress through this section of the level, this Theo section. Playing some safe strats that are very understandable, because this section can and will mess you up if you're not careful. Especially with the Seekers like that you saw there. But, okay. I think they're trying to jump off the Seeker to throw Theo at that key, but messing it up. But getting through the screen anyways. And we're about to see Revo in the remix section, where The blocks now move in cycles, similar to Dust Bunnies in Chapter 3. They'll be moving back and forth instead of randomly falling whenever you hit Madeline. I say randomly not as in where they fall are random, but just blocks falling. Again, there's not really anything luck-based in this game at all, so everything is kind of... We know what's about to happen, there's no real luck to it. Doing some very nice jumps. To get through that section. Headed to the last few screens of this remix section as Terra is headed through the last few screens of Mirror Temple. This is actually the second to last screen of both the Battle and Fight and the Mirror Temple. So, we'll see what happens. Revo now on the last screen, and so is Terra. There they are. And, alright, Revo making very nice work of the Battle and Fight, but now is finished with it. Terra having a little bit of problem with these shockwaves, but still making it through the room, which is better than not making it through the room. Throwing Theo at the eyeball and finishing the chapter. Very well done. Meanwhile, Revo has 2 dashes now. So pink hair, 2 dashes, added on to the red hair, 1 dash, and the blue hair, no dash. You know, the little color system in this game that lets you know your dash count is upgraded right before the end of the stage. And it now looks like Terra does have analog going on, so might save a little time over Revo involving these feathers. But Revo's already in Summit, which is incredibly good. In Summit, it's kind of like a recap of each section of the game. So right now, since we obviously just left Reflection, we have this area that's kind of Reflection themed with its looks, and it's not its spikes, I think, because the spikes there are purple. But it has the same shape, I guess. Meanwhile, Terra going through all these feather sections very smoothly. That analog definitely helping them out. And at the end of these screens, you actually have this thing. At the end of each section of the summit, you have these things where Battlein throws you around that you see Revo making very good work of. That's something that happened at the end of Chapter 6. You might have seen on Revo's screen, and you're going to see on Terra's screen when they finish Chapter 6, where there are these orbs that you can make Battlein throw you upwards with. Revo went to 500, which is themed after Forsaken City, and just like Forsaken City is pretty open and has a lot of crazy skips going on with it. So it's a very well done section if you can move incredibly fast like Revo can. So, making very quick progress as Terra is heading up to the split path section of Chapter 6 rather quickly, so doing a very good job. Onto the first split path. Going to be using that Kevin block for safety. As Revo enters 1000, which is themed after Old Site, so we have our dash blocks back. Or our dream blocks back, my bad. And it looks like Terra's having a little bit of problem with this bumper to get to the next set of paths, but gets through as Revo is blazing through 1000. Terra having a little bit of a trouble getting the extended here, but gets it, hits the bumper. Nice job. Now onto the next split path. And Revo's into the last screen of the 1000, I guess, because I meant to say 1000, but didn't. And now on the 1500. Dust Bunnies are back with a vengeance in this section, and they are meaner than ever before. But despite that, though, Revo's going to be trying to work as much as possible on getting through it, as Terra is also working very well on getting through the split path section rather quickly. So we're seeing a very good job from Terra, who actually decided to use the top path here. The top path is, I believe, a little bit faster, but a bit harder as well. So you'll commonly see people use the bottom path on this final split path, but I mean, some people use the top, so, and it's a very viable option. and finishes the split paths as Revo is about to be entering 2000, which has a lot of crazy stuff in it that I bet Revo is going to be going all for. Gonna be going for a wall bounce here to go on a secret berry path. Doesn't get it, gets a second try. And on this path, it's just faster to go to this part of the level by using that path than going on the normal path of the level. There's also this screen, which the snowballs are back in Chapter 4. Even with the amount of crazy stuff that goes on, trying to travel through a very long horizontal screen, and then tracking you vertically, still makes it through fine without a snowball. Gets the auto-scroller skip. Very nicely done. Now I'm going to be going for another auto-scroller skip, just as Terra is a few screens away from entering our battle and fight. Yeah, just has to do this block, and then is going to have... We'll see how they do on battle and boost, as Revo is heading to the last screen, the 2000, very quickly. Both of them are doing a very good job right now. And that is a pretty good battle and boost from Terra. Getting all the way to the fight with a pretty good amount of speed. So we'll see how their entire fight goes. It can be very tricky if you're not 100% sure on what you're doing, so you have to be very confident in this section. And it looks like Terra is trying to play a little bit safe, but... So, having a few problems with some blocks, but is making it through fine. Revo, I swear. Revo into 2500 with some crazy corner boosting and just strats in general. Very nice extended there. Going to be doing some wave dashes here before getting to a key skip, where going to be skipping some rooms. Going to be skipping that room below by doing 2 wall jumps here to get up here without a red bubble. Then doing another intentional retry to set you back at the beginning of the room. Very nicely done and quickly done, just like Terra working through. Unfortunately has a death in this screen here, but doesn't let it upset them and be going on to the next part of the fight. Revo is about to head up to everybody's favorite meme, door skip, and of course he's going to be going for it. And gets it first try. Door skip saves about a second and is pretty difficult, but everybody likes to joke about it because, I don't know, that's the way this game works. Revo very nicely moving to the last screen of 2500 and about to be heading to 3000. 3000 is kind of like its own, after you go through all the sections that are references to past levels in the game, the Summit 3000 is going to be its own kind of unique thing now, where it has this cool new graphics, it has some new mechanics. For example, it has these flags. So it has these flags. It has a lot of long screens that it would not make you want to do in one go. So it's going to put these flags that act as checkpoints. But these flags are special because these flags actually count down starting from 30. And then when they hit 1, the next flag is going to be the flag at the summit of the mountain. And that's going to be the end of the run for Revo and the end of the game in an any percent setting. Terra, meanwhile, is heading into the remix portion of the battle and fight, which is basically the... which is basically like the last couple screens of the battle and fight. There's not a lot of screens of this remix portion compared to the screens of the normal portion of the fight. And Revolution, getting through the entire downdraft section here. So yeah, downdrafts are like the wind from Chapter 4, except they'll push you down, and then updrafts will push you upwards, which basically changes your gravity, so like your how high you go from each jump and upwards dash and stuff like that. Working around it very well. The updrafts do like to kind of abuse the fact that you are floatier, though, by having a lot of big gaps with a lot of spikes in them. But Revo making it seem like no big deal. Well, Terra also making their section look like no big deal. Despite a few mishaps on both sides, still making very good work of this part of the game. And Terra on to the second to last screen of the battle and fight, so almost there to Summit. And Revo not getting enough height and dying right before flag 12. That's a flag a lot of people do not like because it is a very dumb dash to those spikes, and Revo proving why it can be pretty stupid with another death going for a diagonal strat. unfortunate for Revo, but Terra, on the other hand, is not having as much unfortunities as they make it all the way through the battle and fight. So, very good job on Terra's side. About to hit the end of the chapter here. Just has to get the double dash and start heading up. Meanwhile, Revo finally made it to checkpoint 12. Did a little neutral wall jump there to skip one refresh crystal and make it to checkpoint 11 a bit quicker. And now on to checkpoint 10, which is the last third of the checkpoint flags, where there's going to be a few flag skips, actually. Skipping checkpoint 9, which is not something I think I've ever seen, but then dying on it, so has to do checkpoint 10 again. Gonna be going through the 9 skip again, and 8 skip, and gets it just as Terra finishes up on chapter 6 and is now heading into the summit, where Revo is nearing the end at flag 6. So we have Terra at the base of the summit now, gonna be going through. Very nicely done. That is a really tricky screen, that second screen, because you can have a lot of unfortunate things happen if you don't get your dashes exactly correct. But Revo is already near the end of the summit, while Terra's at the beginning. But Terra is making very quick work of the beginning right now. And Revo at flag 2, so just needs to go up here to get to flag 1. And flag 1 is not really anything, it's just this weird small section before you reach the summit. It's a very easy section, but dying because not dashing quick enough after getting a good amount of speed from and trying to do an extended there that you see Revo do that time. You know, keeping your momentum can always be risky if you're not careful with the spikes around you. And finishes the race. GG's to Revo and Terra in 500. Revo with a 33.02, which is a very good time. But Terra also doing very good so far on this summit. So yeah. And I guess, well, Terra's working through Summit very quickly. We might see if we can get an interview for Revo, with Revo. That looks like kind of safest strat to get up there, but it works out for Terra, so if you're not careful with the spikes around. Oh god, I forgot to do that. Finishes the race. GG. We're good. Should have fixed it. There we go. I did it. Sorry about that. We're good now. Terra onto 1,000. And it looks like Terra headed to that last portion of the level. Alright, hello there. Hello.
Hello. Oh, okay, Lori.
There we go.
Yeah, there was I was having a decent game, but then result happened, and actually I was really surprised about getting a golden bridge in 30x range after losing like 20 seconds in a single screen. That was crazy, actually.
Ridge
was not very good.
Ridge is always one of those crazy levels.
Yeah, definitely. Particularly in some places in Ridge, you can die and it's super punishing and get really tilted. Like it happened to me actually.
Yeah.
I think I lost like 20 seconds only in one single screen, so that was actually a pretty much good Ridge except for that.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely a really good run. A 33 is really good.
Yeah, I think it's not that bad if we compare again in my last race's time. I was having like high 33 and there was a very low 33, and especially because it was a low 32 pace starting 3,000 meter. And then flag 13 happened. I really have to change my avatar now because that was really embarrassing.
Yeah. Flag 13, I was talking about that one before any death even happened on it, about how just that is one of the least favorites of the whole section, because it's a very mean one.
Yeah, but the funny thing is that I actually spent like 20 minutes only practicing Flag 13 before this race, and well, there is the result. Welcome to speedrunning, guys.
Yep.
So, well, but except for that, Reflection was okay. Summit actually was pretty good. I've been working particularly in Summit the last time, but I need to put more effort in 3000 definitely.
Yeah, definitely. I also know I need to put a lot more effort in 3000 because it's a section that is just merciless.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminder that 3000 is probably the most important part in the entire game because if you think about that, Summit is 1/3 of the entire run and 3000 is 1/3 of the entire Summit, so it's truly important. Don't forget to practice that.
Yeah.
So, well, I have another race tonight, actually very late. I think it's at 2 a.m. EST. So I'll do my best for practicing and having a better 3000 for that. It's my actual last race on Group Phase, so probably I'll be done with that today, finally.
Yeah.
So I'll prepare myself for the brackets.
Yeah. The race you're talking about, 1 a.m. EDT, EST, whatever you want to say. 1 a.m. versus Xeon on the main channel. But so yeah, that'll be another race to watch if you're up that late. I know I might be asleep by then, but if I'm not asleep,
it's okay. Everyone has a different sleep skill, so it's fine.
Yeah.
So well, I'm leaving. So thank you everyone in the chat. Thank you Laurie for commentating, and good luck for Terra for the rest of the run. I'm not sure if it's PvP, but well, let's cheer. So see you later, guys.
All right. Thank you. And we'll see you later. I think Terra might be on PvP pace, actually. Gonna be maybe not by too much, I'm not sure, but if Terra has a good 2500 and 3000, I think that they will get it. We'll see Terra struggling a little bit with the key skip here. There we go. And very nice. That's a tough gap to squeeze through and going for door skip. Oh geez, Hydra or Terra. I'm thinking in the wrong race now. I think Vula's rubbing off on me. Yeah, not going for. Oh, going for half a door. This is a problem. Go for. There you go. Okay, on to the last screen. I think with a really good 2000, this could still pull out a PB, but I don't know. But we'll just hope that Terra finishes with a good ending, at least, especially with struggles in this room. I don't think it's going to happen at this point, I'm sorry, but still definitely going to be a very good run from Terra, so making it to this last part of the 2500 final room. jumping on the block, dashing off of it. Has 3 minutes to enter this has 3 minutes to finish 3,000, which I think could be possible, but it's going to be very difficult. But I believe in Terra. I believe that they are good enough to get that done. So let's see how it goes. Already into the downdraft section rather quickly. I'm going to be going to the left here. And, alright, doing nice wall bounces to fight the downdraft. And, alright, did not get the dash back on the platform. Making very good progress so far. I don't know what else to say other than just doing very good so far on this 3,000. Already to flag 22 there. Ooh, taking death on 22. 22 can be a difficult one because you have to hit a spring that's in a very awkward position. But gets it. Gets that. Gets all the way to 20. We'll see. Dashing upwards, and ooh, there we go, through the downdrafts. Yeah, I see all the counting in chat. That's exciting. Skipping 18, which you usually see people do to go straight to 17, because 18 is a kind of joke of a flag. And now at 16, where 15 is very quick to get to and to get through. Onto 14. 14 all the way until like 9 there really is kind of like a gauntlet of flags. So we'll see if Terra can make it through quickly. 14 done well. Onto 13, which as we talked about while Revo was here, is a hassle of a flag. Very difficult with a specific jump and some keys. Gets through it though to flag 12. Dying on flag 12 unfortunately, but still doing very good in this summit. Gonna be going for the neutral jump and misses it. Oh well. Gonna be going up here. Missing the neutral jump again. Going for it a third time. Yep, alright. Third try neutral jump there. And gonna be going down here. Gonna jump to flag 10, so now in the last third of the flags. Getting to 9. Struggling with 9. Not getting enough height on the initial jump to dash through all the stuff correctly. But still doing alright. On to 7. And grabs the orb. And just as they land on the thing, their PB has passed. So unfortunately, no PB for Terra, but still going to be finishing with an incredibly good run, getting up to checkpoint 5 here. And 4. Oh no! Thought I had enough height, but they did not. Now at the last 3, skipping flag 3. Gonna be going for it. Good luck on that. But getting to flag 2, so very safe. Alright, now at the end of the second flag. And through it to flag 1. So now it just has to go up here and is... Oh, that was scary. Just as it go up here. At this point, all the spikes are gone, but you can still accidentally retry at the top. Does it, though, and finishes with a 46-18. GG's to Terra on the race. Well finished. All right. Everybody give your GG's to Terra. Very good job. I'm going to check quickly. Okay. Does not look like it right now. Yeah, but everybody get your GGs out in chat for Terra. So it looks like coming up, Speed Gaming is going to be having a bit of a break hour. Nothing's going to be happening from now, except for the races happening on 1, 3, and 4 that are all finishing up until 7 p.m. We have a Final Fantasy 1 randomizer. But then at 9, we have a lot of stuff happening with the Super Metroid plus A Link to the Past randomizer combo, a Link to the Past daily race, randomizer daily race, another Final Fantasy 1 randomizer. Half an hour after that, so 9:30, is Link's Awakening DX. And then at 10 p.m., as well as 1 a.m., are the night's last 2 Celeste races. At 10 p.m., we're going to have Link Force Zero versus JJ Plays Games on Speed Gaming 5. And at 1 a.m., we're going to have Revo, who you just saw in this race, versus Xeon 97 on the main channel, so just the main Speed Gaming. But since this race is over, that's also going to be it for me. So I'll see you guys. If I don't see you guys in chat tonight for one of the upcoming races, I'll hopefully be seeing you in a future race. So I'll catch you guys there. See you later.